Run it back, Nation. What is good? Welcome to another edition of Run It Back NBA. I am your host, DJ Eastwood, host of Run It Back Philly, where I cover the 76ers on a daily basis. I made this channel to cover the rest of the NBA because the 76ers piss me off. We got to talk about the Detroit Pistons choking again last night. Second game in a row. And then we got to decide, who's really going to win this series? Is the winner of this series really going to compete with the New York Knicks? And is the winner of any of this Eastern Conference basketball really going to compete in the NBA Finals? We're going to talk about all of that. What else we got? We have a reaction to Charles Barkley being drunk on TV. And then we have a message to New York Knicks fans because I just gotta take Knicks fans down memory lane real quick. I just gotta remind them a little bit. Just gotta remind them a little bit because they're very, very, very confident right now. Just gotta remind them a little bit. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Do me a favor, hit the like button one time. 50 people live on YouTube right now. Matty J, what's good, man? Paul Freak Show, if healthy. I don't know what you're referring to, man. Shakedown. Jalen Brunson is better than Shai. Okay. But Charles Barkley is not the only drunk one, I guess. We got a bunch of drunk people in the chat, clearly. Let's see. Santiago. Seeing Tobias choking is just laughable. What happened to Duran? Did he get worse after the poster dunk? Yeah, Tobias Harris choked. That is for sure. Houdini Harris is back. We got to talk about that. Did Jalen Duran get worse after he got dunked on by, who was it in Orlando? It was a pretty nasty poster dunk. Maybe that was it. That's a good point. Jalen Duran's kind of stunk up the joint since he got dunked on. Let's see. Darren the Wander, remember the heat of 2023. Let us please not underestimate the Cavs. Go Knicks. You're already preparing for the Cavs. You don't think the Pistons can win this series? I may have an alternate angle here, man. I may have an alternate angle. This Pistons series shows me that defense only does not win championships. Defense only does not win championships. Yes, correct. You have to be able to score. Let's see. Cleveland looks like the more talented team. That is true right now. But I don't know, man. I think this is more an indictment on the Pistons, man. I think the Pistons are just choking. This series should be three. This series, they were up 2-0, and they choked away 3 games in a row. This series should be over. Looks like the Pistons had it in control, then just lost at the end of the fourth quarter and into overtime. Correct. If Pistons had LeBron, they're winning a title. All right, Paul. You just got the worst chat comments ever, bro. Just the most random, dumb shit 24/7. But thank you for being here, man. Thank you for supporting the channel. Darren the Wanderer, must always remember 23 Heat, can't underestimate. Yeah, I already read that. But thank you for the super chat. Hoping the Cavs win so we don't have to deal with Asar. All right. Not much from the chat there to start the show, but but thank you for being here. Let's do it, man. Let's talk about the Detroit Pistons and the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Detroit Pistons just choked against the Cleveland Cavaliers for the second game in a row. In game 4, they were in control of the game in the first half, and then they gave up a 24-0 run in the third quarter, which is funny because the Orlando Magic gave up a 23-0 run against the Pistons, and I thought that was egregious, and the Pistons doubled down on that in game 4. Last night, in control of the game again, all the way down to the end of the fourth quarter. They were up by 9 points with 3 minutes left. I don't know how you don't close out this game. They were up by 9 with 3 minutes left. It looked like Harden and the Cavs were cooked at the end. It looked like the game was over. And what really happened was, and this is crazy, and let this be a lesson, everybody learn from this. Everybody learn from this. They were up by 9 with 3 minutes left. Instead of keeping their foot on the gas, instead of putting their foot on the necks of the Cleveland Cavaliers, they took their foot off the gas. They took their foot off the gas and they tried to run the clock out. They were up by 9 with 3 minutes left in a playoff game, and they tried to run the clock out. They weren't looking for a good shot. They weren't attacking. They weren't trying to get another bucket to really seal the deal. They tried to run the clock out. 2 shot clock violations in the final 3 minutes of the game. I cannot believe that's how they went about it in the final couple of minutes, and the Cavs made them pay. Tobias Harris, a chance at the dagger. Bro, this end of game segment by Tobias Harris was so Tobias Harris. As a 76ers fan, this was so Tobias Harris. You couldn't write it any better than this. Tobias Harris was cooking a lot of times in this series, and he was cooking in the first half of this game. I was live tweeting, I cannot believe Tobias Harris is playing like this in the playoffs. I cannot believe it. Maybe it's just the 76ers. Maybe the 76ers organization is just this bad. And Tobias Harris goes to the Pistons and elevates his play in the playoffs. And we should have known it was coming. We should have known Houdini Harris would return. And oh my God, up by 2. With how many seconds left? Under a minute. Up by 3. Up by 3 with under a minute, I believe. Tobias Harris, wide open 3 in the corner. And he just hit one. He just hit one a couple minutes before that was a big one. But when it mattered the absolute most, when it would have been a dagger, from the corner under a minute, Tobias Harris for 3, shanks it off the side of the rim. I mean, not even close. And it gets better. He chucks an absolute cinder block in crunch time that would have been a dagger. And then he commits a foul on the other end, putting Donovan Mitchell at the free throw line for 2 free throws. A 5-point Tobias Harris swing in under a minute. He fouled Mobley at the end. A 5-point Tobias Harris swing in under a minute. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what happens when you are forced to rely on Tobias Harris as your second option. And we're going to get into what I think about the Pistons and how they're showing me they are who I thought they were this whole time. That demoralizing series of events at the end of the fourth definitely bled into overtime. They completely collapsed in overtime. Gave up an offensive board to Jared Allen, a wide open 3 to Donovan Mitchell. Then they turned the ball over on the inbound, and Donovan Mitchell makes a layup, and the game is over. They didn't even show up in overtime. You know what I'm saying? But I can't believe they took their foot off the gas. They went and tried to run the clock out in the fourth quarter instead of keeping their foot on the gas and putting the game away. And then Tobias Harris chokes at the end. We're going to talk about the Amen Thompson foul here at the end because he got tripped, and Pistons fans are mad. They thought the game should have been over on this foul call, and he had just made 2 free throws, right before this. Let's look at it. Let's blow it up here. Let's see. The Pistons fans are not happy about this. 103, 3.7 seconds left. A great defensive play here by Asar Thompson. Stripped the ball from Donovan Mitchell. Good no call right there from Tony Brothers. There's Tony Brothers. 69-year-old Tony Brothers with bad eyesight. There he is. Good no call right there. Asar Thompson tripped by Jared Allen right in front of Tony Brothers. No call. I got to be honest. That is a wild no call right in front of a referee. And for those that don't know, Tony Brothers is retiring after this season. So Detroit Pistons fans, I'm sorry that it just so happened to be Tony Brothers right there who can't see and just decided he's not going to blow his whistle at all at the end of this game. Yeah, it was a trip. It should have been called a foul. Asar Thompson should have been at the free throw line, and he just hit 2 free throws a minute before that. So maybe the game is over right there. But at the same time, that's not why the Detroit Pistons lost the game. You folded the entire second half. You choked. You absolutely choked at the end of the game. And we can't blame the outcome of the game on that no call on Asar Thompson. But I do believe it should have been called. But you can't blame the outcome of the game on that. The Pistons should have put this game away way before that. And they are who I thought they were. And they still have the same issues. Absolutely, undeniably, one-dimensional. Cade Cunningham hero ball all game long. If Cade Cunningham is great, and he had 40 points in this game? But it's not enough. That's not enough. What did he have in this game? He had 39, 7, and 9 on 13 for 27. But look at the supporting cast. 6 points from Asar Thompson. Now, shout out to Dennis Jenkins. He did everything he could do. You can't ask for any more from that from Dennis Jenkins. 13 from Tobias Harris, 10 from Paul Reed, 9 from Jalen Durham. We're going to get into that in a second. They don't have enough scoring outside of Cade Cunningham ball. And so this is what's going to happen when you face a little bit of adversity. Is it the third quarter again from Cade Cunningham? He had 9 in the third quarter, but he was a minus 11. That's when the Cavs went on that run. But it's just too one-dimensional, man. It's just too one-dimensional. Now, I want to be fair. They didn't have Duncan Robinson. Not that Duncan Robinson is some kind of star player, but Duncan Robinson definitely spreads the floor. Duncan Robinson is definitely a good threat to shoot off of the Cade Cunningham gravity, drive and kick and things like that. And so it changes the game a little bit. And Duncan Robinson was out with a sore lower back. A sore lower back. Buddy, it's the playoffs. Your season is on the line. And you're missing important games with a sore lower back. My lower back is sore every single day. When you got to play 30 minutes of basketball, Duncan Robinson, put some icy hot on that shit and get on the fucking court. What are we talking about here? A sore lower back. And they're without Duncan Robinson. But they're going to get him back. And so Cavs fans, pump your brakes a little bit. Take it easy a little bit. They're going to get him back. But that's pretty crazy. And the Pistons, they're too one-dimensional. And if they lose this series, if the Detroit Pistons lose this series, I think they have to fire Bickerstaff. I think you have to fire the coach if you lose this series. Now, look, you can look at it like this. You can look at it like this with the Detroit Pistons. You can just say, they're not really that good of a team. Like, it's not really that good of a roster. It's just that Cade Cunningham is so good, so dominant, so good on both ends of the floor that he elevated a team that had no business being here. That's very possible. And when you look at their actual roster and scoring options, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's more of an indictment on the coach that Jalen Duren has totally disappeared in these playoffs. It has to be an indictment on the coach. How have you not gotten Jalen Duren back involved in the game? In the entire playoffs? How? You're just running the same thing. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. There's no second option. There's no plan B. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't know how Jalen Duren can go from 30 and 20 games to single digits in the playoffs, and there's nothing you have done to change that. There's one play in this game where Jalen Duren got into an ISO situation in the paint on Evan Mobley and just hit him with the nastiest drop step and dunked the ball. I mean, totally owned him in a one-on-one situation. One time in this game. How do you not draw things up to do that a lot more throughout the game? Like, I don't get that. It doesn't seem like Bickerstaff has put any effort into drawing up any type of game plan that's not just Cade Cunningham dribble the ball, Cade Cunningham score the ball, Cade Cunningham draw a double team, Cade Cunningham kick the ball out to the three-point line. That blows my mind. And I think if the Pistons lose this series, they got to fire the coach. I do think that. James Harden on the other side. Let's talk about James Harden for a second, because y'all know I be on my James Harden roast game. Y'all know, let me turn the fan on. Let me get that air. Let me get a little air up here. Y'all know I be on my James Harden roast game ever since he played for the Sixers, man. And I think that, look, I got to give him credit. James Harden dropped 38 and 6 in this game. He was a plus 11. He was great down the stretch. And there's games that the Cavaliers have lost in this series where I've said that's not going to work, right? And the last game that they won, Donovan Mitchell took over the second half and dominated the third and the fourth quarter. And I was saying that's what the Cavaliers need to figure out. They need a better balance between James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, and Donovan Mitchell has to be the closer. James Harden, I'm going to give you credit. You proved me wrong, at least for this game. James Harden was the closer in this game. I do have to be honest, he was getting away with some pretty egregious flopping. Some classic James Harden flopping. There was a play in the first half where he basically just did a rip-through on Dennis Jenkins, hit him in the face with the ball, and got 3 free throws for it. And Dennis Jenkins was so mad about it, he was calling him a fucking bitch live on TV. And then the one in the second half where he shoots a 3 over Tobias Harris and kicks his legs out like he's doing Taekwondo and gets 3 free throws for that, right? And then he tried to do that one again and didn't get the call and was yelling for a review. James Harden was doing his classic James Harden flopping act, and he was getting rewarded for it in this game, and I know Pistons fans were really mad about it, and I agree with you on that level, but that's still not why the Detroit Pistons lost this game. I thought the Pistons choked it away. But credit to James Harden for the 30-piece and being the guy down the stretch. He did hit some big shots. I do think he got some pretty, some calls on some flops that shouldn't have been called. Again, Houdini Harris, man, he really came back. He really did his thing, man. Tobias Harris morphed back into Houdini Harris. 13 total points. He had 10 points. He had 10 points in the first half. He gives you a goose egg in a big third quarter. He gives you he hit 1 3 in the fourth, and they gave you a big goose egg in crunch time in overtime. So shout out to Tobias Harris for morphing back into Houdini Harris, the one we all know and love. But I want to say this. And this might be a little bit of a hot take. I think the Detroit Pistons are still going to win this series. Clip it out, record it, write it down, whatever you want to do. I think the Detroit Pistons are still going to win this series, and I think that for one reason. And I realistically probably don't think either of these teams are beating the Knicks. And I definitely don't think either of these teams are beating the Knicks and then beating the Oklahoma City Thunder or the San Antonio Spurs in the finals. But I think the Detroit Pistons come back and win this series. Because two things. They're getting Duncan Robinson back. That's another shooting threat off of the Cade Cunningham gravity. We talked about that. Duncan Robinson is a large part of the reason they won the games they won in this series. And I don't trust James Harden to continue to do this. And I think the Cleveland Cavaliers, just like some of the losses in this game, especially the first 2 losses in the series, and some of the losses in the Toronto Raptors series where they went 7, there's way too much James Harden ball on this team, especially in crunch time and in the fourth quarter. And I don't think James Harden will continue to do this. And if you have seen James Harden in game 6s and game 7s throughout his career, you will agree with me. He played for the 76ers when they were up 3-2 on the Boston Celtics. He absolutely choked away game 6, and he didn't even show up for game 7. So watch this. Cavs up 3-2. James Harden pulls off another classic James Harden disappearing act in game 6 and doesn't even show up for game 7. History repeats itself. Detroit Pistons win the series in 7. That's my take on it. That's my take on it, man. What you guys think, man? What you guys think? No way they are beating the Knicks. There is a way. And Knicks fans, you got to calm down. You got to calm down. Does Donovan Mitchell do any defense at all? I noticed last night on offense for the most part, but would stand to the outside with no one on him and didn't throw the ball. Does Donovan Mitchell do any defense? He's a pretty lazy defender, I will say, on the perimeter. He doesn't really fight around screens. He doesn't really sprint out to the three-point line. I don't know. Let's see. Are you going to talk about the Cavs at all? All right. Bro, stop. The Cavs have no defense whatsoever. Don't you worry, Knicks fans. I'm going to remind you. Eastwood predicting is never good. You're right about that. But this one's easy to predict because history tells us what's going to happen. The Pistons will win in 7 games. I don't know. James doesn't have to be that guy, so he might pull off being average and win as long as Mitch is okay. No, not just okay. No. They need either Donovan Mitchell to be a superstar or James Harden to do this. There's no just okay. You can't just, James Harden can't completely disappear and have Mitchell and have Donovan Mitchell just be okay. That's not enough. That's not enough. Like if you look at game 5, Donovan Mitchell was out of his mind in the third and fourth quarter to win that game. This game, James Harden was great and the Detroit Pistons choked. But I think the Pistons can get back to what they did the first 2 games of the series. Pistons in 7. That's what I think. Let's go react to this Charles Barkley thing real quick. And then I got a message for New York Knicks fans, man. This Charles Barkley thing, everybody thinks it's funny. I don't know, man. It's just kind of rubbing me the wrong way, man. This was on ESPN after the game. Y'all tell me what you think, man.
Backstreet's played great. Okay. I'm thinking what everybody's like, that's a pretty man.
All right, let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you something. All right, check it out. Listen.
Backstreet's played great. Okay. I'm thinking what everybody's like, that's a pretty man.
I don't think everybody's thinking that.
Can I ask you a question? Yes, you can.
What are you attracted to about him?
I'm not attracted to him, but I can
You said he's attractive.
He's a good-looking man.
What are you attracted about his good looks?
His face.
His face?
His face. He's a good-looking man.
Ponytail, too. You like the ponytail?
You like the fact that he's wearing
and the headband? Ponytail, boo-boo.
A T-shirt? I told y'all about
the T-shirt.
I told you I don't believe in the man bun thing.
But is a T-shirt?
But you're able to overlook that.
Listen, man, don't be hating. That's a pretty man.
Nobody said it was hating. I just asked you what was attractive to you.
I just don't think. I'm just surprised that was your takeaway from
I gave him his flowers on basketball all night.
Is it the eyes?
So you were looking at his eyes?
All right, let me tell y'all what's going on here. First of all, I want to say this. This is why Amazon and NBC are destroying ESPN when it comes to NBA coverage. You see, they put together some NBA panels that have been great. Amazon has Dirk Nowitzki, Steve Nash, Blake Griffin, and Udonis Haslem over there breaking down the game. They're breaking down the game. They're breaking down the game, the ins and outs, the X's and O's. They're breaking down the game from an experience level and all that. NBC has Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, Carmelo Anthony, and they're breaking down the game. And it's real insightful basketball stuff. Look, the Charles Barkley, Shaq, TNT crew, it's a comedy show. It's a comedy show, and in my opinion, man, it ran its course. In my opinion, it ran its course. Like, I'm not trying to hear this in a post-game show. I'm not trying to hear Charles Barkley tell me that Max Strus is a pretty man. It's a comedy show. And nobody likes it. Nobody wants it. It's ridiculous. And this too, man. Charles Barkley has admitted before that the coffee cup on his desk has Patron in it. Shaq made a joke about it one time, and he basically confessed that his coffee cup has Patron in it. This guy's drunk, dude. This guy's drunk on TV, bro. I'm not exaggerating at all. Now look and listen to him with that in your mind. Look at him and listen to him.
Max Strus played great. Okay. I'm thinking what everybody's like, that's a pretty man.
He's drunk off his ass on TV, man. Come on, ESPN.
I don't think everybody's thinking that.
Look how drunk he is.
Yes, you can.
Come on, man. This guy's drunk off his ass, man. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing, ESPN. That's how I feel about it, man. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's a joke. I don't watch NBA games for a comedy show on the post game. Maybe I'm being a little too uptight about it, man. But you know, good for him though. Why are you hating? I drink at my job. All right, Paul. I'm done reading your fucking bro. Your comments in this chat every show just sucks so much, dude. Oh my god, bro. Your comments in this chat every time I look at the chat and I read one of your comments, it's just absolutely mind-numbingly annoying and yeah.
The accuracy for sampling.
So we gotta get comments from people that are going to contribute to the show. Paul's annoying, and he's out of here. All right, Paul, you can. I didn't block him from the channel, by the way. He can still watch and listen to the show, and he's still watching and listening, by the way. He just can't type in the chat anymore. And so, Paul, I need you to listen up. All right, when I talk to you about this New York Knicks stuff, man, I need you to listen up, man. Let's go back. Listen. New York Knicks fans, your level of confidence after you beat the Philadelphia 76ers with injured Joel Embiid, washed Paul George, rookie VJ Edgecombe, brain-dead coach Nick Nurse, and so on. Your level of confidence after sweeping that team is diabolical, and it's dangerous. I'm just letting you know, for your own sake, you got to stay humble here. All right, Knicks fans, bro, they think the Knicks are going a sure shot to the NBA Finals. And they even think the Knicks are beating the Oklahoma City Thunder or the San Antonio Spurs in the NBA Finals. They actually think that. But what I'm saying is, the reason I'm saying this is, you got short-term. What's the girl say on the Finding Nemo show? You got short-term memory loss. That's what you got. Don't act like the Knicks weren't shitting the bed just a couple of weeks ago, brother. Y'all forgot all about it. You forgot all about it. Just a couple of weeks ago, the New York Knicks were shitting the bed, and you guys were losing your minds. You were losing your minds. Trade Karl Anthony Towns, fire the coach. You were losing your minds. Let me take you back to it for a second, man. Let's go back to the beginning of the Atlanta Hawks series. The Atlanta Hawks. You were struggling mightily with the Atlanta Hawks. You lost game 2 by a point. Was that the CJ McCollum game winner? You gave up 32-6 to CJ McCollum. I didn't even know he was still in the NBA. He got traded to the Washington Wizards and bought out. You lost another one by a point to the Atlanta Hawks. You gave up 24, 10, and 8 to Jalen Johnson. You gave up 23-5 to CJ McCollum. You gave up 21 points to Jonathan Kuminga. This was just a couple weeks ago. And let me take you back a little bit farther, Knicks fans. There was a part of the regular season where where the New York Knicks were completely collapsing. They had a losing streak in the middle of the season that was like 8 or 9 losses in a row. And Knicks fans were crashing out. And I'm gonna take you back for a second to a podcaster named The Sixth Man on Twitter, Papa Left. Shout out to him. Here's what he was saying back in the regular season when the Knicks were collapsing.
But not only are they better basketball players than us, I want to make this very clear. They're better human beings. They're better men than us right now. Like I can infer from watching that they're better human beings in society. There's no doubt about it. Like they're better at changing, as far as being a man, they're better at, Mikal Bridges would be calling the handyman apps. They're better at fixing a leaking toilet. They're better at patching drywall. They're better at jump starting a dead battery in a car. They're better at mowing the lawn. They're better on the grill. Like Tulu, whoever that dude was, Tulu. Imagine Tulu versus Cat. And you have to trust who makes a better burger. They can assemble furniture, IKEA. Like they're just better human beings.
That was Papa Left when the Knicks were falling apart in the regular season. Oh, it gets better. Let me give you one more. Let me give you one more, man. Let me give you one more.
Out of the mud. McBride, out of the mud. Shamet, out of the mud. Mitchell Robinson, out of the mud. Jalen Brunson, out of the mud. Anunoby, he's a good profile, but 23rd pick, out of the mud. But Kale and Cat are our only lottery picks on this team. And they play like they're entitled to not get down and dirty. And I don't like that. And I don't think we can survive both of them, to be honest. One guy doesn't know how to play through physicality. We can't. The other one wants nothing to do with it. Yesterday, they were both additions by subtraction. So when people say, oh, we can't do it without Cat, we can't do it without Mikal, we just did. And if we do it without him via trade, we get talent back.
Wow. Papa Left wanted the Knicks to trade Mikal Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns at the trade deadline. And let me tell you something, because I'm an emotional sports fan myself. And I get up here after some losses and I say what I say. But when he was crashing out like this, when the Knicks were playing bad, I literally said, they're going to get it together and he's going to act like he didn't say any of this. So I'm just reminding you, Knicks fans, it wasn't too long ago that the Knicks were losing games. Knicks fans wanted to fire the coach. They wanted to trade Karl Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges. They wanted to blow the whole thing up. And now you got a little bit of motion, a little bit of action, a little bit of rhythm. You sweep the Philadelphia 76ers with no Joel Embiid, wash Paul George, rookie VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey, all by himself. Andre Drummond, who wasn't getting minutes as a backup center in Chicago. Kelly Oubre, who was damn almost out of the league after his stint with the Charlotte Hornets. Quentin Grimes, who's so ass. Dallas traded him for... Who did they trade him for? The one twin. Anyway, it wasn't that long ago, Knicks fans. I'm just telling you. Humble yourselves. Because what I'm predicting is the Detroit Pistons win this series in 7. And even if the Detroit Pistons don't come back and win this series in 7, the Cavs win the series. The New York Knicks morph back into the version of the New York Knicks that had you guys crashing out, wanting to fire the coach, wanting to trade everybody. And then all of this celebration after a second-round victory is going to look real sad. It's going to look real sad. You were filling the streets. You were filling the streets, throwing parties like you won the Super Bowl after a second-round victory versus an injured team. When you lose in the Eastern Conference Finals because these teams exploit Jalen Brunson on the defensive end, it's going to look real sad for you. So just humble yourselves. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, man. I thought you actually had a valid message. That's not a valid message? How is that not a valid message, bro? What message did you think I was going to have? What message did you think I was going to have? You should be thanking us we got Morey fired. That wasn't you. What? He got fired for the Joel Embiid and Paul George contracts, and he got fired for the Jared McCain trade. He got fired for releasing Isaiah Joe for no reason. He got fired for putting together a terrible roster, and he got fired for betting on 2 old injured players. See, that's the thing too, man. That's the thing too, man. Knicks fans taking credit for this stuff, right? Like you guys you just puff your chest out. You just take credit for anything you can take credit for. Sixers fans calling Josh Harris, the owner of the 76ers. Sixers fans calling Josh Harris, saying he was on the Epstein list and telling him to sell the team. Knicks fans are on the internet claiming victory for that. Oh, we ended the 76ers. We got Sixers fans crashing out so bad they're talking about the owners on the Epstein. Bro, we were talking about that for years. What are you talking about? It wasn't you. I've been ripping the 76ers to shreds for 7 years on YouTube. And you think this one victory in the second round is the reason? I'm just saying, man, the arrogance, the self-righteousness of Knicks fan, it's outlandish, bro. It's outlandish. I mean, you haven't won a championship since 1973. I would just humble yourselves a little bit. That's all I'm saying. And I can't wait to root for the Cavs or the Pistons in the second round, man. I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. Is this the 76ers autopsy report? Yeah, man, that's 10 years, bro. First, you guys were better. Now you're trying to find out how you can get rid of Embiid. We were trying to figure out how you can get rid of Embiid earlier in the season. We were trying to figure out how you can get rid of Embiid 2 years ago when he couldn't play, when he played 20 games. This is what I'm saying. You guys keep taking credit for this stuff. What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joel Embiid didn't participate in training camp because he was injured all offseason. He was ramping up for a whole season, and the front office was lying to us. And we were trying to get rid of Embiid then. It's not because we lost to the New York Knicks. That's not why. It has nothing to do with you guys. He is still ramping up. I agree, man. He is still ramping up. I agree. Yeah, I just wanted to get that off my chest a little bit, man. I think I'll maybe post that clip on Run It Back Philly Pistons or Cavs? Who's taking out the Knicks? Pistons or Cavs? I think the Pistons win in 7. Then I think they take out the New York Knicks. Hey, I love you guys, man. Thanks for tuning in for another one. Thank you for hanging out. It's all love. But fuck you, Knicks fans. I'm just kidding. It's all love. I'll see you tomorrow at 12. Peace!